Okay, it's the next day. I did pretty much get the wiring harness all done. I gotta do a few little things like the headlights. They aren't headlighting anymore. I need to buy new headlights, and the wipers. They're not going to be working for a little while, so I'll probably zip tie them up. As far as everything else, this has been an excellent kit. I know it's pricey, but I mean, it's all hidden and everything. It has been an awesome kit as far as the dome lights, the steering column, even the lights and everything. The only thing that I have trouble with, that I did have trouble with, was the fuse that they sent. It's a 70 amp, and I actually needed a 150 amp is what I got down in there. So I just hooked that back up. And then I have to install the door jamb switches to when you open up the door, it'll turn on the dome light. But that's that. So, oh, and I have to hook up the water pump and the fan to the radiator, and I'm going to have those on another switch underneath of the dash so I can turn that on and let it cool down whenever. But I think I'm going to get started on that, and then after that I'm going to take these doors off. I don't know how much sanding I'm going to do to them. I am going to paint them black, and then as soon as that dries I'll paint them with the blue. I ordered a clear coat for these panels, but it's a satin clear coat, and it should be here tomorrow, I think. So I'll get started on that when it gets here. Well, I still got to put the power steering pump in and figure out how that goes. I need to go get an alternator belt and figure out how the power steering pump comes on here, which that ought to be fun. I'm gonna get started on wiring these two to a switch underneath the cab, or underneath the dash for now though. couple friends paint cars, and I normally, when I help them, I do it the right way. And since it's my stuff, I don't really care. So I ran out of paint cups. So I'm just grabbing an old coffee can. I don't really care what it looks like. I just want to get some kind of a sealer on this car. Now it should be, so I'm going to have to judge the paint, the measuring on this. That should be, this full thing equals that. So if I do a quarter or something like that, it should be, I don't know, hopefully. Old coffee can work. Man, they put this stuff on there really good. Oh. Man, seal these things up. Okay, so got a little bit of clear coat on them just to seal it. See whether or not. Hopefully it'll dry like a satin. I don't want it shiny at all. I just wanted to seal the so it doesn't rust. Some water came out right there and got on it. That'd be fine. And then I did end up, this is what I used. KBS Max. It's a kit that you bought. Man, they packaged that stuff really well. I sliced my finger just trying to get it open. But hopefully it does pretty good.